Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. Before we jump to the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so before we jump into the price action or into the smaller time frame stuff, we are still looking for that potential, that we're looking to set up for a bigger structure here to the upside, looking at this potentially as a bigger 1-2-1-2, looking for a push up towards this zone of this 38,750 for confirmation. The immediate confirmation would be lower down towards this 35,192, in which case that would potentially give us another fourth and a fifth, looking to actually try and target out this higher area. So this is the key zones that we need to hold here. Basically, we are looking to hold this 26,631 to this 24,810. And what we want to do is maintain this area if we are looking for this possibility of breaking to the upside. The problem is the current structure we have here is not great. Looking at it as an impulse, it is looking very corrective at the moment. So this is making me think that, potentially we still have one more drop here before we look to actually start to form structure if we are looking at this as a bigger move to the upside. The other thing we need to be aware of is potentially we could label this as a 3, 4, and a 5 here. And basically what this would then mean is that potentially, this could actually be a completed move into this high. And what we'd be looking for is basically to see whether we actually get a deeper move down here towards this zone of this 23,580 to this 21,182. Some interesting areas to come back into would be this previous bottom that we've got here. That would actually tie in quite nicely with a retest of these lower down levels. But basically, this 25,200 level is also quite an interesting one. If we do get a move down into this zone, potentially that could look to actually complete into some of these highs. So I'm keeping an eye on this zone. Basically, if we do actually move down deeper, though, we talked about this previously, where actually within this structure, we could look at this whole move as a completion of a C wave or the fifth wave of a bigger move where this becomes this becomes a third wave over here, this becomes a fourth wave over here, and then we're looking for this as a fifth wave. So this would then lead us to have that possibility of a bigger breakdown here, looking for an A, B, and a C, potentially down into these zones here of this 20,941 to this 17,582. So these are still some key zones, that we have as support below us. We are starting to make our way above some of these previous resistance levels, but we're going to have to see whether they hold. If we fail to hold these zones, basically, it's going to be seen as a sign of weakness, in my opinion, and we could actually look to break down much deeper. So the key zone, if we're looking for this 1-2, is this 23,896. If we break down below that, that would invalidate this possibility of seeing an extension here as a 1 and a 2. But once we start to lose 24,810, it becomes less likely. Okay, so let's get into these smaller time frames here. So we're talking about a few things yesterday. Most of them are still viable, unfortunately. So, this could be a triangle that's forming in here. And what we'd be looking for is the potential that this would be an A, B, C, potentially looking for a D and an E. So there's a couple of things we need to talk about regarding this. If this is a B wave triangle, this could be an A wave, this could be a B wave, and then we could be looking for this C wave, looking to actually come down into this zone of this 26,631 to this 24,810 areas. Obviously, we've got some interesting levels here. This 0.5 would actually be retesting this 26,000 level, which would be basically coming back into these highs. Alternatively, lower down here, we have this 25 to 11. So we'd have to keep an eye on this. Given the current structure, we can argue that within this, we could be looking towards this lower zone here. 1-to-1 would potentially bring us up into this high here of this 26,156. So I'll be keeping an eye on this zone. This 50% area could be an interesting one if we do come down one more time here. The problem we have is, this triangle could also be the other way around. So we're going to have to monitor this. And what I mean by that is this could actually be an A, B, C, D, and an E. And then what we're looking for here, so the key difference between these two options is basically that if we form a three-wave move down here for the C wave, if we only then form, so if we do form another move up here, this in the other format would actually be our E. What we'd want to see is a breakdown. If we fail to actually break down and we just see a small move like this back down into this diagonal here, basically what we could then actually have is a triangle this way around, where this is all a B wave and this becomes an A, B, and a C. And then we can argue, potentially we're going to move back up and test some of these zones as a flat correction. And then this could become an A, this could become a B, and then we see that move down at a later date. So this is something we need to be cautious of. It is still possible that this could be a triangle. Here, it hasn't confirmed yet. What I would want to see is an additional leg down here. We can argue that potentially the D wave could complete here, but one more push down would actually make the structure neater here, where you can argue one, two, three. Yeah, I would like to see one more drop, because then you say one, two, three, four, and then have that fifth wave down. Potentially that 1 to 1 would be. Let me just get this on the low towards this 27,586, which actually bring us back into this key level here that we had as resistance. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that in the shortest term, basically looking for this as a ABC down. Now, I'm going to talk about that possibility of the flat now, because this is still viable. We could still see this play out to the upside as this B wave here, and we could actually see this continue up from this point. So we need to be aware, this could be a B, and a C, or it could even be just a W, an X, and we're forming this Y wave now. So within this, we could technically say within the structure here that we have this playing out as an A wave, looking for a B wave, and then we're going to get a C wave to the upside, something like this. So, as long as we remain above this 27,000 area, there is potential to move up here. We're going to have to see whether we continue to face rejection of this channel line, or whether we'd start to get a move to the upside. Yeah, so if we were looking at this as an ABC, that 1 to 1 would actually bring us up into this 28,871. So that's based off of coming back into these highs. That could potentially look to bring us into this zone where we get a double top situation here again. Well, in this case, yeah, a double top, possibly with this one here. Or alternatively, if we do come up slightly higher here, this 1.236 at this 28,961 and this 29,253 would be an interesting zone. So you can see there's a couple of options here. What I want to see is basically whether this move breaks up or down. If we break up, I'm going to be monitoring this zone here of this 29,253 to this 28,495 range. If we do move up into here, potentially we could look to test some of these key zones and then actually look to break down in a 5 wave move. If we do get a 5 wave move down from that point, basically what I'd then be looking for, depending on how high we come here, would be looking for that possibility of actually coming back down here one more time and looking to actually challenge maybe this lower range here of this 26,176, which would actually be coming into these high points here. So alternatively, this could actually just be an a B, and a C, and then we break down. So we need to give it a bit of space and see how it plays out exactly. But there is always the potential of a breakdown here, and we were talking about that yesterday. The thing is within this, actually, I want to cover this first. We can see this just play out as a simple W, X, and Y, where we're actually within this Y wave, and potentially, given the fact we've come up into this rejection zone, that we've got here this 28,386. We actually came up just into this golden pocket. We've been rejected twice off of it. So potentially, we could start to see this move away if we do not manage to actually get back above some of these key zones here. So that's what I'm looking out for. If we start to break down deeper here, potentially we could be looking for a C wave, which could look to take us down towards this zone here of this 26,478. This would actually tie in with coming back into some of the zones of these previous swings, that 1, 2, 3, 6. However, if this does look to push out deeper, potentially we could actually come down towards this zone here of this 1,382, which would be back into these highs of this 26,000. So yeah, I mean, you can see that the idea here is the same. Basically, we were looking for that potential to actually retest this lower range. The Depending on how deep we come here, potentially moving down to this bottom channel line again would actually be moving us down towards this 0.618. and this 1.618 of this W wave, which would actually be here towards this 25,736. So I'm keeping an eye on this. This is still something that is possible. We could see this break down here, find support, and then look to push up. The key thing is, if we do break down, what we need to do is maintain this 24,794. If we fail that, holding this 23,896 is going to become the next thing I'm looking for. And then if we do start to break down deeper than that, basically we've got that these lower targets here, this 23,580 to this 21,182. Like I said previously, though, this is going to be an interesting zone to me. If we do move back down into this previous swing low here, potentially this could actually offer us support, and we could look to move to the upside from there. So keep an eye on this zone if we do move down. However, we can't write off the fact that we could have a bigger move to the downside as well starting to play out. Um, there's a couple of options here, but I am still monitoring this and basically looking for this potential that if we start to break down more impulsively here, we could start to see something like this, where this becomes a 1 and a 2, potentially form another 1 and a 2 within here. And we're starting to break down. So we were talking about this just based off of the fact that, you can argue this is a diagonal here. This did come up into the rejection area, but it came up quite high. I'd like to see this move away, and it wouldn't really make much sense unless we move much lower than this 26,196. So basically, what I want to see here is 1, 2, 3. Actually looking to pass this zone. I'd like to see this drop down fairly decently below this, because otherwise, if we do look at this just as try to count it in this manner, we wouldn't have enough space for this fourth wave to complete because of the wave one being over here. We'd need to actually see this move down deeper, in my opinion. It would make more sense if we're seeing such a big wave two as well, that this is actually going to look to break down much deeper. But, we will have to just see how it develops. A five-wave structure developing to the downside would indicate to me that, potentially this is either that C wave down from this point, or alternatively, it could be something much more sinister, in which case we could be looking for a bigger five-wave structure where we form something like this as a wave one, we come back up for a wave two, we get okay, so let me just move this all to the side here. Basically, within this, we'd have to say that this would become a bigger third wave here. We get something like this as a fourth wave. Within this structure, we'd get a fourth wave potentially back up to this 23,250 zone, and then we'd be looking at something like this, which would actually be looking to bring us down much deeper here, looking to actually challenge these lows. So this is something that I'm still keeping an eye on. There's not really a lot of confirmation for this yet. It's actually looking very choppy up here, and it's starting to become less likely, but I am still nevertheless looking out for this potential of this bigger breakdown. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both Primates BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.